Hello students, in this video we are going to study about the satellite communication. So here these satellite can make use of the both the microwave as well as the radio signals in order to transmit and receive the data from the earth station. As per this slide you can see here, the earth station is transmitting a single signal. You can see the pink color arrow. So earth station will just send one single signal signal here to the satellite, and satellite will amplify the data signal. Amplify in the sense which will strengthen the signal of your data, okay, and then it will broadcast it. Broadcast in the sense where the sender will be the one, but there will be multiple receivers, okay. It will amplify and broadcast, and that broadcasting frequency will be so high that it will almost cover the large amount of area on the earth surface. Almost 1/3 of the earth surface will be covered by the satellite. It depends upon the capacity of satellites also. Now whenever the data signals will reaches to the ground stations will be having multiple high gain antennas, and those high gain antennas can be the microwave stations. I can show you here the image, right? So let me show this one. Yeah, you can see here is the communication satellite. So I may send the signal, okay, single signal I may send through this antenna, which is again a microwave station. By using the microwave signals I may send it. So as your data reaches here, data signals reaches here, this my communication satellite will amplify it, it will strengthen the signal, and it will broadcast again back to the 1/3 of the earth's surface, where onto the earth's surface there will be very high gain antennas, which are microwave stations or the microwave antennas, okay. Hence we call it as it is a special case of microwave relay system. Now what is this relay system is? Now let me tell within this slide, I'll explain you. Now think that this is the antenna which is in the range of the satellite communication, okay. This is the antenna. I'll say that antenna might be in this range. Another two antennas might be out of this coverage, okay, out of the coverage of satellites. In that case what happens, when this high gain antenna receives the data signals from the satellite, the amplified one with the higher frequency, this microwave will immediately transmit to the next nearest high gain antenna, again from this nearest high gain antenna to the next nearest high gain antennas, and through these microwave relay stations again they may be connected with the radio antennas, okay, where are the radio signals, okay. So those radio antennas may again they have the capability to radiate, to capture the signals and to radiate, and they also have the capacity to penetrate the obstacles, whereas the microwave they doesn't have. They always follow the line of sight propagation. So within the city it might be the radio waves antennas which may receive the signals from the microwave station, right? So the forwarding your data signals from one antenna to the another antenna is nothing but is the relay system by making use of the microwaves. Hence the terminology is that it's a microwave relay system. Next thing is this satellite communication makes use of synchronous satellites to relay the radio signals transmitted from the ground station. If we are using the radio signals, so satellite communications makes use of synchronous satellites. Synchronous satellites in the sense the satellite speed will be same as that of the earth speed, okay. So anyway whenever the transmission takes place, it's always the microwave antennas which will radiate, but whenever we are sending the data from the earth signals, it might be the microwave signals or it might be the radio wave signals also, but the receiving antennas will be obviously microwave signals only, microwave antennas only, because of their high frequency, okay, and it is having the capability to have the larger amount of data where comparatively to the radio waves antennas. I hope you can understand. Next thing is we have to see is that how exactly these satellites can communicate, what is making them to accept and receive the data, okay. These satellite communication is having multiple independent reception and transmission devices known as the transponders. The transponder is kind of a wireless communication equipment which is present in the satellite that helps it to receive and transmit these radio signals at a prescribed frequency. Okay, I may send, as I said, I may send only a single radio signal at certain frequency, above maybe up to 30 gigahertz, about that much, I may send a radio signal to the satellite. So in this satellite there is a transponder device, so it is having the capability to receive the radio signal. It will receive it in a prescribed frequency range. After receiving a transponder, at the same time it will broadcast the signal at a different frequency. Okay, this satellite communication will broadcast the whatever the radius. It will first amplify and then broadcast the signal at a different frequency onto the ground station with a very high frequency, more than the 30 gigahertz. It will amplify. Okay, it will strengthen the signal so that your signal should accurately reach to the high gain antennas. Okay, here I would like to explain you two terminologies. One is the uplink and the downlink. Okay, the transmission from the earth station, okay, I can say here the transmission from the earth station to the satellite through a certain channel, I can say it as a uplink. Okay, the transmission from the satellite to the earth station, I can say it as a downlink. See, whenever we are sending the data to the satellite communication, okay, then I can say it as a uplink, and whenever the satellite is sending the data back to the earth station, then I can say it as a downlink. Okay, now we have seen how exactly satellite is communicating with the help of transponder. Then there might be something to the earth station also. There should be something device in the earth station also, so that it should be capable of receiving and transmitting the data, isn't it? So in satellite communication, the earth station consists of the satellite dish. It will consist of a satellite dish that act as an antenna, plus it will also act as a communication equipment in order to receive and transmit the data from the satellites. In this microwave station, there is something known as the transceivers. Okay, in any microwave or any station antennas, high gain antennas you take, there is something known as transceivers. In these transceivers there will be transmitter and the receiver, which we have already studied in the radio waves, right? So whether it's a microwave antenna, whether it's a radio wave antenna, there should be transmitter and the receiver. Combiningly we can call it as a transceiver. So these are the communication equipments what the earth station is using in order to communicate with the satellite. This satellite will accept the data signals transmitted from the earth station, will amplify them and then retransmit to the other side of the earth. Right now, within this communication, within the range, that means this communication satellite can cover the range up to this much of the earth. Okay, now I'll give an example here. Think that somewhere the live cricket telecast is going on. Okay, somewhere in the other country, maybe somewhere in the New Zealand cricket live cricket is going on. So how come the India is able to watch that live cricket show? Is the satellite which is there onto that particular continent or something which is observing. So that earth station where the cricket live show is going on, that earth station will send the signals to the satellite. Okay, then satellite will receive those signals, it will amplify and it will send it to the range, within the range whatever high gain antennas is there, to those antennas. Those satellite communication will amplify the signals and send it in a large volume of data. Those high gain antennas will send to the next nearest. Like this, only one satellite is not there. There would be at least 3 to 4 satellites which will be able to cover the entire earth. One satellite, okay, one satellites will have the connection with the another satellite, wherein that other satellite will be having the connection with the earth station which is there in the India. So like this, the satellite communication also, different satellite communication, different satellites also will communicate with each other, but the thing is that they should fall within that particular range. Okay, one satellite which is monitoring the New Zealand cricket show may send those signals to the satellite which is nearest to the India. Okay, then from that satellite we are receiving those signals to the high gain microwave antennas. Again, from high gain microwave antennas it will be next sending to the radio signals through the radio waves or something. We may receive the signals. It might be radio waves or it might be the direct microwave waves also. Fine. Next thing is these satellites are being owned by both the private organization as well as the government also. So government alone cannot afford for the satellites because their maintenance, their cost, okay, will be very high. So they are owned by both the private organization as well as the government, and they may also be leased also. The part of the satellites space, memory space, maybe it is on leased also. Fine. Then these satellites are usually placed about 22,300 miles above the Earth's surface. Okay, above 22,300 miles above the Earth's surface these will be placed. And now here you can, in this image it is given as 22,000 miles it is given. Fine, up to 22,300 miles they are being placed. And the first and most important thing in this communication satellite is about the security. Comparatively to with the transmission through the cables or any other, just the microwaves or just the radio waves, okay, comparatively to that, the security which is provided through this communication satellites will be very high, and it will be provided by the coding and the decoding equipment. So this is all about the explanation of communication satellites. Now let us see the advantages. The area coverage through satellite transmission is quite large. Almost 1/3 of the Earth's surface it can cover. Only one satellite can cover that much. If at all, if we have 2 to 3 satellites which may completely monitor the Earth, almost complete Earth can be covered. Next one is the laying and the maintenance of intercontinental cable is quite difficult. Okay, and expensive also. In that case, satellite proves to be the best alternative. As I said, if at all, if a cricket match is going on into some other continent, okay, and if we want to see the live show of it, then it is not it's not easier task to lay the cables till the other continent and to maintain it, okay, and it would proves to be very expensive also, because we cannot go for the twisted pair or the coaxial cable. We have to make use of the fiber optics, isn't it? So if at all fiber optics means the cable is quite very expensive, so it is a quite difficult task. In that, satellite communication proves to be the best and the easiest way, so that you can even see the live show, though you belong to some other different continent where the match is not right now not going on. Next is the heavy usage of intercontinental traffic makes the satellite commercial attractive. That means through the cable, if you are transmitting the data where the cable is connecting between the two different continents, okay, and there might be simultaneously you are sending different signals. There may be loss of signal, there may be the strength of the signal may weaken, you may not properly receive the data signals at the other end, okay, a lot of traffic might be created. How the vehicles traffic will be there usually in our daily life whenever we are traveling, same way the data transmission also, multiple signals will be traveling around the cables depending upon the cable capacity, bandwidth capacity. If at all, if the too much cables are, if too many data transmission takes place as simultaneously, there would be more traffic. If more traffic, there may be a loss of signal, or there may be quality of the signal will be degraded because they will travel very long distance, okay. And then we also have to use some other external communication devices like repeaters we have to use, isn't it? Amplifiers we need to use, right? Next advantages is that satellite can cover the large areas of the Earth. This particularly useful for the sparsely populated areas, if metropolitan cities and all, okay, live show, if you want to have to go for, then you can use the satellites communication. Now let us see the disadvantage. The first one is technological limitation preventing the deployment of high gain antennas on the satellite platform. See, satellite also, though the satellite proves to be the best alternative in many of the cases, instead of using the cables we can, but it is not that every time we need to make use of the satellite. If so, the satellites also have certain limitation, its memory capacity. Depending upon that only we have to implement the high gain. Whatever high gain antennas are doing on the earth station, the same work will be done by the satellites also. You cannot every time implement that a huge amount of work on the satellite. It also have certain limitation. Accordingly to that only we need to implement the things in order to have the transmission through satellites. Next one is overcrowding of available bandwidths due to the low gain antennas. See, whenever maybe at the same time many live shows are going, one side cricket is going on, somewhere other singing show, okay, dance show, almost different kinds of shows in different countries, if at all, if it is going, and we have very few satellites. So which satellite has to cover which kind, which show, and how those transmission will be taking place from one microwave station to the another micro station, and each satellites has to communicate with each other and exchange their information. Isn't it, it becomes overcrowding for them. Why it is happening? Because of the low gain antennas which is present on the earth station. If at all, now whatever microwave stations we are having, that is high gain antennas, but not that strong as the satellites, obviously, isn't it? If they were strong as satellites, then we would not have satellite communication at all. They're not that capable because and one more thing is having an high gain antennas in the public areas, it's quite very harmful. Okay, usually those high gain antennas have been placed outside the cities because the very harmful rays will be around those towers. Okay, because we in the cities and all we are using the low gain antennas. Because of these low gain antennas, usually people what they do is they will try to overcrowd to the satellite communication. Most of the things they want to try to have the transmission through the satellite. That time more traffic will be occurred in the satellite communication. That would is one is other disadvantage. Okay, next is the high investment cost and the insurance cost associated with the satellite will have probability of much failure. That means if at all, if satellites fails for some any other reason, it might be maybe software failure or its memory is overloaded. Okay, more implementation if we are doing more kind of transmission, if we are expecting above its capacity like 40 gigahertz or something like that, it will start losing its strength. It will start degrading it will start sending the signals which are not of that fullest in its fullest strength. Okay, so once if the satellites fails, its insurance cost, okay, its recovery cost will be very very high. Then high atmospheric losses will be about 30 gigahertz limit carriers frequency. That means if at all, if it is heavy thunder, rain or some fog or something, these satellite communications are also susceptible for the weather conditions. Okay, depending upon weather conditions they do act for us. Okay, so let us study the other two wireless communication, that is the infrared and the laser communication. So this infrared, as per this slide you can see here, these are nothing but the LEDs, light emitting diodes, which are making use of the infrared rays in order to transmit the data flow between these two electronic breadboards. These are the electronic devices. Okay, they are exchanging the information by making use of the infrared rays by using the LEDs, that is light emitting diodes. This we have also studied in the fiber optics. Fiber optics will take the source of the light from the LEDs, that is the laser light emitting diodes, or from the laser diodes. Now this is how exactly the data transfer takes place between the infrared rays between the two electronic devices. Okay, now here I'll show you the next image. Yes, see here, our laptops and other personal digital assistance devices also makes use of the infrared rays. Now let us study. This infrared light is used to transmit the data by using the transceiver. There is a transceiver. Transceiver again consists of the transmitter as well as the receiver. Without the transmitter, the device cannot transmit the data, and without the receiver cannot receive the data signals which are coming from the sender. So both the devices which are making the sender as well as the receiver should have a transceiver which consists of both the transmitter and the receiver, and this infrared rays always follows the direct line of sight propagation. I hope you know what is line of sight propagation. The signals can have the ability to travel in a straight line. It cannot penetrate, neither it can deviate. Okay. For an example, I can say here we are actually trying to transfer the data between our mobile handset and the laptop. Therein we are making use of the infrared rays. There inside to the laptops we have the infrared ports here. By connecting the USB cable or by connecting some other way wirelessly, we can also connect by using the infrared. One more example I can give here is the direct communication between the TV and its remote control. So whenever, think for an example, if any obstacle is there or any person comes in between the TV and the TV remote and you try to operate it, your TV will not be able to receive the signals. Why? Because it is the nature of the infrared rays that it always follow the direct line of sight propagation. They doesn't have the capability to pass through any of the obstacle, hence they doesn't operate. Your TV doesn't operate. It doesn't change any kind of channel, though you are operating from the remote, but because of the obstacle present in between. Once the obstacle has been moved, then it will how the channel you are changing, then that way it will receive the signals and it will operate. Even if you are if you are there in the other room and if your TV is in the one room and you try to operate with your remote control, your TV doesn't operate unless and until it provides the direct line of sight propagation in order to reach the signals from your remote control to the TV, wherein in the TV there is a receiver. Then the data here will be always transmitted through the air, okay, and they cannot and they have the capability to propagate throughout the room, but they don't have the capability to penetrate any kind of the obstacles. Okay, then let us see the advantages of using this infrared. It is used for short range to transmit the data, and hence it is a secured one. Okay, within a room, very short distance, if at all you want to transmit the data between any two electronic devices within a single room or something like that, you can go for the infrared rays. Since your signals are traveling a very short distance, obviously they will be the most secured form of data transmission. And it is commonly used in the PDAs, that is personal digital assistants, like laptops, palm tops. We are also using in the wireless speakers, TV remotes, automatic doors. Okay, all there we are using the infrared transmission. Certain disadvantages is that it can always be used for the short range of communication. Okay, we cannot use them for the long range because they doesn't have the capability to travel for the long distance, and they doesn't have any capability to to penetrate any of the obstacles. That is a disadvantage. And it is also very much susceptible for the weather conditions, weather condition. That is why most probably we doesn't use the infrared rays to transmit the data. Now this was all about the infrared transmission. Let us move on to the next one, is the laser transmission. You can also transmit the data by using the laser communication. Now let us see about the laser communication. The laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Okay, light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. This laser transmission requires direct line of sight propagation. Now here you can see there